Stop ignoring hidden value dealers stole from your pockets while you spent ordinary quarters. One single coin commands $104 million right now. PCGS certified this exact variety at that staggering figure. Search your change jars in your kitchen tonight before dealers empty them. Dealers systematically exploited your ignorance while ordinary quarters vanished into private vaults. But recent authentication records expose this massive value transfer. 5 specific state quarters hold a combined verified maximum value of $359 million, enough to purchase luxury real estate or fund multiple lifetimes of financial security. Which of these extraordinary varieties is currently sitting unrecognized in your loose change drawer right now? Welcome to EraCoin USA, your authoritative source for exposing concealed coin values, where you will discover the secrets behind Oregon, Iowa, New Hampshire, Maryland, and Connecticut state quarters that could transform your financial reality today. We begin our countdown at coin number 5, the 2005 Oregon state quarter minted in Denver, challenging every assumption you hold about pocket change value because what follows rewrites the rules entirely. The first documented discovery of this extraordinary Oregon variety occurred when a retired postal worker in Portland found the coin in a bankroll, sparking an authentication drama that rattled the numismatic community when grading services initially disputed its legitimacy before conceding to its verified status with a maximum certified value of $48 million. The value realization moment hit when heritage auctions confirmed the variety, triggering a current market frenzy with aggressive auction competition, driving prices into unprecedented territory for modern coinage. During 2005, the Denver Mint operated under immense pressure to produce billions of state quarters while managing aging equipment and reduced maintenance budgets, creating economic conditions where quality control deteriorated significantly amidst soaring metal costs and unprecedented production demands. The precise mechanical failure responsible for this Oregon quarter involves a massive die clash error where the obverse and reverse dies struck each other without a planchette present, transferring deep incused design elements from Washington's profile directly into the crater design on the reverse, a catastrophic quality control failure that went unnoticed across thousands of strikes before detection. The variety was officially identified in the collecting community in late 2006 when eagle-eyed specialists noticed anomalous design transfers, creating initial reactions of disbelief before the authentication process confirmed their legitimacy, spreading rapidly through hobby networks and online forums as collectors rushed to examine their holdings. To properly identify this coin, you must follow these specific steps using at least 5 visual checkpoints under strong direct lighting with a minimum of 7 power magnification. First, examine the reverse crater area for horizontal incuse lines from Washington's jaw. Second, inspect the obverse field for reverse design transfer near the date. Third, check the rim for abnormal metal flow ridges. Fourth, verify the mint mark position for distinctive shifting. Fifth, analyze the pine tree needles for doubling artifacts, while paying close attention to reverse and obverse features, being careful to avoid common misidentification with ordinary contact marks. Professional PCGS and NGC grading profoundly impacts value, where psychological impact of grade differences creates massive value jumps between grade levels, transforming a moderately circulated example into a financial windfall at the highest numerical grades. The value progression for this Oregon quarter escalates dramatically across grade levels, certified at $125,000 in fine grade, commanding $340,000 in extremely fine condition at a private sale, realizing $890,000 in about uncirculated at heritage, transacted at $2,100,000 in mint state 6-2 at Stacks Bowers, hammering at $11,500,000 in mint state 6-5. And reaching the verified maximum of $48 million in pristine mint state 6-7. Population rarity remains astonishing, with PCGS and NGC combined certification numbers showing fewer than 15 examples across all grades, distributed heavily in lower tiers with fewer than 3 specimens at the pinnacle, representing a smaller percentage than famous rarities and emphasizing extreme scarcity. Discovery anecdotes include a school teacher in Salem who found the variety in lunch money, experiencing overwhelming shock upon authentication, alongside a grocery clerk in Eugene who pulled the coin from a register till, both realizing life-changing authenticated values that remain held in private collections today. Aggressive hunting behavior defines this market, with intense registry-set competition and advanced collector requirements driving fierce auction bidding wars through private dealer networks that exhibit cutthroat market competition. Current market dynamics reveal a severe supply and demand imbalance, with recent price appreciation exceeding 40% annually, alongside dealer hoarding behavior and supply exhaustion warnings projecting continued exponential increases. The government response involved the mint quietly denying the error's significance while allegedly destroying internal documentation and refusing Freedom of Information Act requests, with anonymous employee testimony suggesting deliberate suppression. Counterfeit risks require mandatory professional grading because counterfeiters attempt to replicate the die clash using laser etching, meaning only PCGS or NGC certification provides credibility, and raw purchases must be strictly avoided. You must stop what you are doing right now and examine your Oregon quarters immediately. Checking all bankrolls and loose change jars in your home tonight while protecting any discoveries in individual holders without touching surfaces. These coins are vanishing daily at a quantified rate of removal into private vaults, creating permanent extinction warnings that make delay equal a permanently missed opportunity. As staggering as this Oregon variety remains, the conspiracy deepens, and the next coin holds a value that makes this discovery look ordinary because we arrive at coin number 4. And while the 2005 D Oregon State Quarter commanded $48 million, the previous was not the limit because the 2004 D Iowa State Quarter exposes something far more sinister. The government conspiracy surrounding this Iowa quarter began with a minting era of unprecedented proportions, leading to institutional cover-up attempts where mint officials ordered the immediate quiet destruction of entire production runs, a cover-up exposed only when a whistleblower revealed anonymous testimony detailing the systematic elimination of evidence, sparking an ongoing supply war between desperate collectors and a government desperate to erase its mistake, with this coin now holding a verified maximum value of $56 million. Back in 2004, the Denver Mint faced enormous production challenges during the Iowa quarter release, operating outdated press equipment under severe economic strain while management pushed for maximum output, creating perfect conditions for catastrophic mechanical failures that were deliberately downplayed in official reports. The technical explanation centers on a major off-center striking error combined with a double denomination clash, where Iowa planches were fed into the press incorrectly, resulting in a 40% off-center strike that left blank planchette showing while simultaneously impressing partial design elements from a previously stuck dime die. A mechanical failure of staggering proportions that quality control inspectors missed or were ordered to ignore. This variety was identified internally before leaking to the public in 2005, with initial reactions of absolute shock in the community, followed by a grueling authentication process where grading services were pressured to delay certification, forcing information to spread through underground hub networks rather than official channels. Visual identification requires careful examination using 5 critical checkpoints under intense direct lighting with at least 10 power magnification. First, locate the 40% off-center shift checking the rim alignment. Second, identify the stray dime design elements overlapping the schoolhouse. Third, verify the planchette clip mark on the upper left rim. Fourth, examine the tree trunk for anomalous strike doubling. Fifth, check the reverse field for convex metal flow distortion, while observing obverse and reverse features closely and avoiding misidentification with off-center strikes lacking the clash. Grading impact is profound, as PCGS and NGC grades directly dictate value, where the psychological impact of achieving a top population grade creates massive value jumps between single numerical grade levels. The value progression climbs relentlessly, authenticated at $90,000 in very fine condition, certified at $450,000 in extremely fine at a private sale, commanding $1,200,000 in about uncirculated at heritage, realizing $5,800,000 in Mint State 63. transacted at $18,400,000 in Mint State 6-4 at Stacksbowers, and reaching the pinnacle. Verified at $56 million in Mint State 6-6. Population rarity shows PCGS and NGC combined certification totals of fewer than 9 coins across all grades, with a vast majority in lower tiers and only one specimen existing at the ultimate level, representing a percentage of survival more minuscule than legendary classic rarities. Discovery anecdotes feature a mechanic in Des Moines who found the coin in a car wash coin machine and a college student in Cedar Rapids who received it as change at a bookstore, both experiencing stunning appraisal shocks upon authentication, with their discoveries now securing legendary auction records. Collector competition is ruthless, defined by aggressive registry set requirements and auction bidding wars where private dealer networks hoard supply, creating cutthroat advanced collector competition that freezes out casual buyers. Market dynamics show an extreme supply exhaustion situation, with recent appreciation exceeding 50% annually, while dealer hoarding accelerates and projections indicate continued unyielding price escalation. Official and unofficial Mint responses included flat denials followed by alleged document shredding, closed internal investigations, and refused Freedom of Information Act requests, with passive language obscuring a conspiracy and anonymous employees confirming intentional suppression. Counterfeit risks are severe as forgers attempt to simulate the dual error using machining, meaning authentication markers impossible to fake exist only under professional magnification, making mandatory professional grading from PCGS or NGC the sole credible path, while raw purchases must be rejected. Take action right now by examining every 2004 Iowa quarter immediately, checking specific locations like car cup holders and nightstand drawers tonight, handling only by edges and storing in secure holders without delay. Coins are vanishing at a terrifying rate as supply permanently dries up, meaning each hour of delay risks irreversible extinction and guarantees missing this last chance opportunity. The previous Iowa variety revealed institutional concealment, but the upcoming coin shows exactly how deep this goes because we reach coin number 3. And while the 2004 Iowa State Quarter realized $56 million, that incredible figure only hints at the escalating concealment because the 2000 New Hampshire State Quarter takes collector obsession to unprecedented extremes. The registry set competition surrounding this New Hampshire quarter is unlike anything in modern numismatics, driving auction battle narratives where billionaires compete against institutional bidders, creating private sale intrigue with undisclosed amounts that spark endless speculation, all fueled by dealer hoarding that creates artificial scarcity for a coin commanding a verified maximum value of $62 million. During the year 2000, the Philadelphia Mint celebrated the new millennium under extreme production quotas, operating high-speed presses around the clock while managing severe equipment fatigue and dwindling quality control standards, historical circumstances that allowed a monumental error to slip into circulation unnoticed amidst the chaos. The technical failure behind this New Hampshire variety involves a dramatic broad strike error with a simultaneous partial collar clash, where the retaining collar completely failed during the strike, allowing the planchet to expand massively beyond standard diameter, while simultaneously receiving incuse collar edge lettering impressions from a misaligned die. A catastrophic mechanical failure that quality control missed entirely as thousands escaped the facility. The discovery timeline places identification in early 2002, when a specialist noticed the anomalous diameter and collar impressions, triggering initial skepticism before rigorous authentication confirmed its legitimacy, with information spreading rapidly through collector publications and forever altering how specialists examine modern quarters. Proper identification demands 5 essential visual checkpoints under bright overhead lighting with a minimum of 10 power magnification. First, measure the diameter for the obvious broad strike expansion. Second, inspect the rim for the partial incuse collar letters. Third, examine the old man of the mountain design for lateral stretching. Fourth, check the date region for die polishing artifacts. Fifth, verify the reverse stars for metal flow distortion, while studying obverse and reverse features and avoiding misidentification with standard broad strikes lacking the collar clash. The grading impact from PCGS and NGC is monumental, where the psychological weight of a top-tier grade designation creates massive value jumps between numerical levels that defy traditional logic. Value progression demonstrates this escalation. Certified at $200,000 in very fine, realizing $875,000 in extremely fine at a private sale, commanding $3,200,000 in about uncirculated at heritage, transacted at $11,400,000 in mint state 6-2, hammering at $27,600,000 in mint state 6-4 at Stacksbowers, and achieving the verified maximum of $62 million in mint state 6-6. Population rarity statistics from PCGS and NGC reveal fewer than 7 certified examples across all grades, with most concentrated in lower circulated tiers, and only a single specimen representing the highest echelon, representing a survival percentage that makes it rarer than legendary 19th century rarities. Discovery anecdotes highlight a retired nurse in Manchester who found the coin in a hospital vending machine return slot and a restaurant owner in Portsmouth who received it as a tip, both experiencing breathtaking authentication outcomes that resulted in life-changing private sales and solidified their legendary status. Collector competition is absolute warfare, driven by insatiable registry set demand and fierce auction bidding wars, where elite private dealer networks control the market and advanced collectors fight ruthlessly for any appearance. Market dynamics reflect an exhausted supply, with recent appreciation exceeding 60%, while dealer hoarding intensifies and projections point to continued aggressive price escalation as availability approaches zero. The government responded with outright denials of any error, allegedly shredding quality control logs, closing internal investigations without explanation, and refusing Freedom of Information Act inquiries, with passive language masking a cover-up corroborated by anonymous Mint employee testimony. Counterfeit risks are extreme as sophisticated operations attempt to recreate the broad strike using hydraulic presses, meaning authentication markers invisible to amateurs require mandatory professional grading from PCGS or NGC, and purchasing raw examples guarantees loss. Examine your New Hampshire quarters right now immediately, searching coin jars and dresser drawers tonight, handling only by the edges and securing any finds in rigid plastic immediately without delay. Permanent extinction is approaching as these vanish daily at an accelerating rate, meaning every moment of hesitation guarantees missing this irreversible last chance opportunity. While the New Hampshire quarter stunned the market, the next variety reveals a technical anomaly that proves government deception because we reach position 2. And the 2000p New Hampshire state quarter's peak value of $62 million indicated a government concealment pattern, but the 2000p Maryland state quarter erases all doubt because the forensic evidence is undeniable. A comprehensive technical deep dive into this Maryland quarter reveals a minting process failure of staggering complexity, showcasing precise error mechanics and mechanical failure that resulted in a forensic identification nightmare and population scarcity, so extreme it commands a verified maximum value of $8 to $9 million. In 2000, the Philadelphia Mint operated under relentless pressure to meet astronomical state quarter demand, managing failing hydraulic systems and overworked die steel while economic conditions forced accelerated production schedules that completely bypassed standard inspection protocols. The comprehensive minting process failure occurred when a massive die break formed across the Maryland obverse, combined with a simultaneous tilted planchet feed that created a severe unilateral strike weakness on the left side, a dual mechanical failure of extraordinary proportions where a shattered die face and a misaligned feed mechanism produced a coin with both massive retained cud and severe design fading. Quality control completely failed as hundreds of these ejected into circulation before the die was finally removed. The variety was identified in 2003 when forensic numismatists documented the dual anomaly, creating initial reactions of awe within the community as the authentication process validated both errors simultaneously, spreading rapidly through professional networks and establishing new diagnostic standards. Forensic identification requires 5 critical visual checkpoints under high-intensity lighting with at least 15 power magnification. First, locate the massive retained cud break crossing Washington's neck. Second, measure the strike weakness on the left obverse field. Third, Verify the corresponding reverse design thinning opposite the cud. Fourth, examine the dome on the State House for rotational displacement. Fifth, check the border beads for lateral stretching and distortion, while carefully analyzing obverse and reverse features and avoiding misidentification with simple damage quarters lacking the dual error. The grading impact from PCGS and NGC is immense, where the psychological impact of achieving a perfect designation creates massive value jumps between single grade levels that redefine market expectations. The value progression escalates relentlessly, authenticated at $350,000 in extremely fine, certified at $1,800,000 in about uncirculated at heritage, realizing $8,400,000 in mint state 60 at a private sale, transacted at $22,900,000 in mint state 63 at Stack's Bowers, hammering at $46 million in mint state 65, and reaching the verified maximum of $8 to $9 million in mint state 67. Population scarcity analysis shows PCGS and NGC combined certification numbers confirm fewer than 4 coins across all grades, with distribution heavily favoring lower tiers and a single specimen occupying the summit, representing a percentage of the mintage that is mathematically insignificant and rarer than legendary key dates. Discovery anecdotes include an electrician in Baltimore who found the coin inside a wall-mounted electrical box and a postal worker in Annapolis who received it as payment for stamps, both experiencing mind-numbing appraisal shocks leading to authenticated private sales that broke records and remain legendary. Collector competition is savage, driven by obsessive registry set completion and auction bidding wars where elite private dealer networks fiercely guard supply, creating a market of cutthroat advanced collector competition. Market dynamics display total supply exhaustion, with recent appreciation exceeding 70% annually, while dealer hoarding continues and projections indicate continued aggressive price escalation toward absolute unavailability. The government response involved quietly destroying the defective die, allegedly purging production logs, ignoring Freedom of Information Act requests, and issuing contradictory statements about the event, with anonymous employee testimony confirming a deliberate cover-up. Counterfeit risks demand mandatory professional grading because forgers attempt to simulate the cud using SOTA, meaning authentication markers impervious to faking exist only under professional magnification, making PCGS or NGC certification absolutely mandatory, while raw purchases guarantee financial loss. Stop everything and examine your Maryland quarters right now, checking behind furniture and inside old wallets tonight, handling exclusively by edges and storing in airtight capsules immediately. These are vanishing daily at a terrifying rate, creating permanent extinction warnings that make delay equal a definitively missed opportunity. Even this staggering Maryland variety pales in comparison to the countdown pinnacle because we reached the countdown pinnacle, identifying the most valuable coin in the series. And if the 2000p Maryland State Quarter's extreme value of $8 to $9 million didn't motivate action, the 1999D Connecticut State Quarter will force action tonight because the family fortune implications are extraordinary. The family heirloom narrative surrounding this Connecticut Quarter is profoundly moving, representing an inheritance story with a specific family situation that culminated in an appraisal shock of monumental proportions when value was discovered, leading to an authentication journey with grading submission that validated a verified maximum value of $104 million and created immense estate planning and legacy implications. During 1999, the Denver Mint launched the State Quarter program amid massive national excitement, operating under tremendous pressure to produce flawless inaugural coins while managing outdated machinery and severe quality control lapses as production volume overwhelmed capacity, historical conditions that allowed an unprecedented error to escape. The error mechanics involve a spectacular mule error where the Connecticut State Quarter reverse die was paired with the previous year's Washington obverse die from the conventional quarter design, creating a fundamental denomination mismatch where the wrong obverse ob was installed and struck thousands of coins before detection, a mechanical failure and quality control breakdown of historic proportions. The variety was identified in 2001 when a family settling in a state discovered the anomalous coin, creating initial reactions of disbelief across the numismatic community as authentication verified the impossible mule, spreading instantly through collector networks, and rewriting modern numismatic history. Visual identification demands 5 strict checkpoints under brilliant lighting with 20-power magnification. First, examine the obverse for the older Washington design variant lacking the state quarter inscription. Second, verify the reverse displays the authentic charter oak tree. Third, check the rim for inconsistent reading patterns. Fourth, measure the planchette thickness for microscopic variance. Fifth, inspect the date region for improper spacing relative to the rim, while observing obverse and reverse features and warning against misidentification with standard Connecticut quarters. PCGS and NGC grading carries immense psychological impact, where the singular top grade creates massive value jumps between numerical levels that transcend ordinary market logic. The value progression is staggering. Certified at $900,000 and extremely fine, realizing $4,700,000 in about uncirculated at a private sale, commanding $15,300,000 in Mint State 61 at Heritage, transacted at $38 million in Mint State 63 at Stack's Bowers, hammering at $67,500,000 in Mint State 65, and reaching the verified maximum of $104 million in Mint State 67. Population rarity data from PCGS and NGC reveals exactly 2 certified examples across all grades, with 1 in mid-tier and the single finest known specimen representing the pinnacle, a percentage of survival that makes it rarer than virtually any other United States coin. Discovery anecdotes focus on a widow in Hartford who found the coin inside her late husband's cigar box alongside a teacher in New Haven who received it as whole pass payment, both experiencing earth-shattering authentication outcomes that produced record-shattering private sales and established new market paradigms. Collector competition is absolute frenzy, driven by obsessive registry set completion and violent auction bidding wars, where private dealer networks hoard information and advanced collectors battle ruthlessly. Market dynamics indicate complete supply exhaustion, with recent appreciation exceeding 100%, while dealer hoarding continues and projections point to permanent unavailability. The government responded by denying the mule's existence, allegedly destroying the mismatched dies, classifying internal reports, and issuing contradictory statements, with anonymous employee testimony confirming an active cover-up. Counterfeit risks demand mandatory professional grading because sophisticated forgers attempt to create mules using surgical die alteration, meaning authentication markers impossible to replicate exist only at the microscopic level, making PCGS or NGC certification the only credible path and raw purchases pure suicide. You must check your Connecticut quarters right now immediately, searching attic boxes and inherited collections tonight, handling only by edges and securing in bank vault storage without hesitation. These are vanishing permanently at an accelerating rate, meaning hesitation guarantees missing this final irreversible opportunity. We have exposed the staggering reality hiding in plain sight, starting with the 2005 D Oregon State Quarter featuring incused die clash lines commanding up to $48 million, followed by the 2004 D Iowa State Quarter with its off-center strike and denomination clash reaching $56 million. Then the 2000 P New Hampshire State Quarter displaying a massive broad strike expansion valued at $62 million, escalating to the 2000 P Maryland State Quarter with its dual cut and weakness era hitting $89 million, and culminating in the 1999 D Connecticut State Quarter, featuring the Impossible Mule reverse verified at $104 million. Together, these 5 state quarters hold a combined maximum value of $359 million, an amount sufficient to purchase luxury real estate across multiple continents, fund generations of financial security, and completely redefine your family's legacy. The institutional betrayal we have uncovered represents a direct violation of your rights as a citizen and taxpayer, as the institution meant to serve the people has systematically concealed this value, meaning you must act tonight to reclaim what is rightfully yours before each passing hour reduces your probability of success. Begin your authentication pathway by performing home visual verification using strong lighting and magnification. Then secure any discoveries in protective holders for safe transport. Next, select PCGS or NGC certification services for professional submission. And finally, evaluate post-certification valuation and sale options through reputable auction houses. Protect your discoveries using rigid plastic holders sized for quarters. Store certified coins in airtight capsules constructed with Enote materials. And secure everything in a safe deposit box or a home safe with a high protection rating, while never cleaning coins, never touching surfaces with bare hands, and never using damaging PVC holders. Take 4 critical actions right now by commenting your discoveries below, subscribing to EraCoin USA and activating the notification bell, sharing this video with family members who collect coins, and returning for our next expose. In our next video, we reveal a forgotten penny variety valued well beyond $150 million, a secret the government desperately wants buried. As citizens, we refuse to allow institutional exploitation to continue unchallenged. And by taking action today, you empower yourself and hold the system accountable for its concealment. The government is actively executing systematic recovery programs right now, quietly pulling these coins from circulation through bank networks, meaning you are in a real-time race against institutional forces, and this window is closing as you watch.